So today I'm going to talk about my workplace project proposal. We've called it a fairer deal. Now, this workplace project proposal, before we get into it, I've been requested by management of Barclays Bank to come up with an idea to motivate and help employees in their work and help them be happier. So what we're going to talk about today is the bonus structure of Barclays Bank, specifically in the debt collection call centre. So why are we doing that? The current bonus structure is causing problems. Causing problems with employee morale, employee performance, because they don't know where the boundaries are. There's needlessly strict enforcement. Now, with the current structure, all of the employees are marked on their call score, so that's somebody else listening to the call, certain amount of calls per month, and they decide whether that call is good enough or not. That's a pass or a fail. Failure rate can cause non-payment, so if you've got too many fails on your calls, that will cause non-payment of the bonus. The number of plans in cash collected is divided by the number of hours and equally weighted towards how much bonus you're going to get. And for some reason, they've decided it's a good idea to have it out of 125%. Don't believe looking at the current structure that the top performers are differentiated enough, and the current structure with the bonuses are paid quarterly. Now, the idea is, what we can do, we can go back to an old structure. This is a recently implemented structure. Employees knew how it worked. We didn't really have that many problems or complaints. We can stick with the new structure. So, as we all know, perseverance is key, and that will obviously create some sort of continuity. We can have a middle ground, so we could look at the old one, look at the new one, see if we can find anywhere in between that'll make everybody happy. Or we could go with a whole new structure. This is my thinking. Sticking with the new structure, there's too many problems. It causes disillusioned employees. The rewards, I think, are too far apart. They're quarterly, and the top performer rewards has been reduced from the previous structure, and the bottom performer rewards has been increased. The old structure, same problems. The rewards are too far apart. For some reason it's at 125% mentioned, and there's unknown boundaries. Now the unknown boundaries, they're because until the end of the month, or the end of the quarter, as it is at the moment, you do not know what boundaries are. They're created by looking at everybody's performance at the end of the quarter, and then they work out from there. So all the way through, you don't know how you're doing. Looking at it, I don't believe there's a middle ground. The new structure as it is, took all the bad points from the old structure and made them worse. We need a new approach, hopefully reinvigorate employees and make them work harder and happier. So a new approach. So the changes what I'm looking at. Out of 100%, just seems to make sense more than being out of 125. Monthly rewards, so that employees can be rewarded regularly, and you can see that in their pay packet, and they'll be happier with that hopefully. The boundaries are to be set by last month's figures. So instead of being set by this month's figures, we can look at last month, work out how everybody did, assume it's going to be quite similar this month, and set the boundaries based on that. The scorecard, that'll be updated daily, so everybody knows exactly where they are all the time. The top 10% are going to be rewarded handsomely for their performance, so that's going to be the biggest amount of the prize pool will go to them, and they will get a large amount of money. There's going to be no pass or fail on the call. There's a few reasons for this. Could be that the employee does a perfect call, makes one mistake at the very end, and that can cause a fail. It seems a little bit harsh. Although we have put the caveat in that consistent low scores will result in a 50% reduction in the bonus, just to make sure that people don't take advantage of it. Why it's better? Well, it rewards great performance. It doesn't penalise small mistakes. It creates aspiration, so people can see in the month where they are, exactly where they are, and they can move themselves up the bonus structure as they wish, and they can see what they need to do, where they need to be. And it's the same bonus pool. Even though people at the top are getting rewarded more, people at the bottom, they're getting rewarded less. This will also add to the aspiration factor, because they're getting less money for doing the lower work, which is the same work as they were doing before. If they work harder, they can get a lot more money. And it's the same bonus pool also creates, it means it's better for the company. It means they're not having to pay out any more money, but they're still creating that aspiration of more money for the top performers. This is how it's going to look. These are the details of it. So the pot's 40,000. The top 10% will see a 12,000 share of the pot. That will result in each employee getting £1,200. So on down to £600, £300 for 30, 70%, £200 for 70 to 90. The bottom 10% haven't obviously done very well, so they're not rewarded at all. The top performer also earns an additional £500. Now this is an added incentive for people that are working, that are in the top 10% and feel like they're comfortable in that top 10%, so they don't work maybe as hard as they would, but just to make sure that they try and get themselves on top. There's another £500 there for them. So to ensure that this works in the way that we want it to make sure that employees are happy with the changes, which is mainly what we're looking for, to make sure that they perform that bit better. We're going to send out employee surveys, going to ask questions. Is it fair? Is it better than the old one? If it's not, there's no point in changing it to that one. What would you change? So the employee can have their input, and they can look at the different things and see what they think is the best way to go. And why is that better? Why is it that their change would be better for them, better for the company? The implementation is all set out in the Gantt chart, but it will include the employee surveys, the collation of the employee surveys, the finalisation that will come down to the proposal I've come up with today, as well as taking into account the employee surveys to ensure that, as I said, that they're the happiest and they perform the best. We're looking to implement it by the 1st of July 2015. That will mean it's the start of the next quarter. It's a seamless integration rather than cutting it off halfway through one of the performance periods and starting another one. And as I've said, seamless integration. What I'll need for this, I'll need information needed on the current performance, that's for measurement purposes, both for creating the first month's structure, so the employees know where they are, and also so we can see if it's working, make sure the employees are performing better and the employees are happy. Staff time, going to be quite a lot of staff time for this. We're going to need surveys, we're going to need implementation, so we're going to need IT, we're going to need people to roll